Hi, I'm Rich with New Life Scientific, and today I got a unique product, and we're going to talk about a little bit what makes it unique. But this is the microfluidizer made by Microfluidics. It's the M815. This is really nice and unique. It's one of their current machines that they've manufactured, and what makes it nice is it kind of falls in between that pilot scale and that full production scale. So in the past I've had customers that they need some volume, but when they get to full production, it's almost too much to run their batches because you just need so much volume to fill up all the pre-plumbing that goes into the machine. So they developed this nice size machine. It's portable. You can push it around, pull it out, run production, and then even tuck it away. But it is on wheels for that purpose. But it's all self-contained. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, but what makes this unit so unique, it's a 2018, but it's never been used. And when we got it in, we went over and looked at the hours and the stroke count, and then we looked at the plumbing connections. It's never been hooked up, and that's what really makes this unique, especially in the pharmaceutical grade where you need something that's more new and never had any product run through it. So we're actually going to run this. We got it all hooked up. Before we do, I'm just kind of going to do a walk around real quick. You got the HMI here, and I talked about the information on it. So you can see it only has 4 hours of use, and part of that is just even from what we've ran it, and then of course what had been run at the factory when it was new and being tested. And only, the stroke counter showing only, 3,300 strokes there, which is again very small. But it's all set up. We've got that air hooked up for the pneumatics, and I'm just going to open the door and we're going to take a peek inside real quick. You can see it's all pharma grade plumbing. So it does have the pre-pump in here that we got hooked up, and it's all built in here where it's all contained also, which I really like that. On some of the production models they put it on the outside. This one's on the inside. It's all being contained in here. So we have that. That's a pneumatic pump that primes and builds the pressure to pressurize and prime the actual pumps here. So this is a dual cylinder, so it does consistently stay at the pressures, and that's what I really like. When you have single pumps where it only has one stroke moving, it always loses its consistency and pressure when it's moving the product through the interaction chamber. This way, when you got consistent pressure, you know that all your product is being consistently moved through the interaction chamber at the same pressures, and not having these pressure spikes and then drops when it's moving through. So that's the really nice thing about it, is having that dual cylinder with the two plungers working together. So you can see it does have all the plumbing. Back in the corner you can see the heat exchanger. That's where you would run hook your chiller, which hooks up on the end of the machine, and it runs in here again in the same chamber where it has the big drip pan built here. That way when you unhook things and need it's all contained, nothing's going on the floor, and you can clean everything right here in place too, and makes it really nice. So again, you can see how nice this has been, just kind of stored away for multiple years and never used. It works great, as you're going to see in a little bit. So this gauge here is identifying the pressure, pre-pressure, and we'll show that when we turn on the actual pneumatic pump there. This does have an F12Y 5-channel interaction chamber here. And it does have the auxiliary that goes with it, so it is set up for a F12Y 75 micron, and that's very typical in the microfluidics processing for your needs that you have. So we're going to walk around the side over here and kind of point out some things that I was saying earlier. So when we investigated all the hookup ports here, everything is spotless with no indication of any kind of thread sealants or any kind of corrosion that would have indicated a chiller even being hooked up. Just completely spotless, like it was right from the factory. So we have not hooked up a chiller. We're only going to run it for a short time, so we won't need the chiller to cool it. We do have the pneumatics hooked up here. This is your valve that will actually turn on the pump. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the air onto the pump, and we can come around here, and you can now see the gauge is pressurized, so that we want to keep it, you know, consistently in the 80 to 100 psi range. And you know, when the gauge drops down, it'll actually engage the pump again and keep it pressurized. And this just is a pre-pressurization for the actual plungers in the pumps here. And so anyways, we're going to go ahead and close this. We're going to be running this. We can see on this side real quick, we got our product inlet here, and right now that's where we have, we're using distilled water here, and we're coming out, pulling it in, and then we're just dumping it right back in here again on our product outlet side. So everything's powered on. Here's the motor starter control panel. You can see it has power there, and we're ready to turn this unit on and see it working in action. So first thing we do is just turn the motor on. That turns the motor, and then we have to hit the intensifier. Right now I have it set clear down at the bottom, so it's going to run and start off at the lowest pressure. So you can see here we're running at about 6300. You notice how consistent it stays, and that's because of the dual plunger action, where when one plunger's retracting, the other one's still pushing, and you have that consistent pressure, so you know your product is consistently getting microfluidized when it goes through the interaction chamber. So we're running about 6200 now. We're just going to adjust it on up, and you'll just see it slowly climb as our graph slowly climbs with it. And you can also see the temperatures here. Now I did notice one thing that I didn't fix yet. These temperatures are actually reversed. The inlet temperature over here, I'll just show you real quick. You got the inlet and you got the outlet. Well, these need to actually be reversed because they're reading backwards on the HMI here. And the way I can tell it is because the inlet temperature is over here, and it should be the one that's actually 64 degrees, because the outlet temperature should be the one that's climbing, because that's where all your heat's being generated, running it through the interaction chamber. So that's one thing I forgot. Easy swap, just swap those two thermocouples around there. So you can see the temperature is climbing. That means we're getting a lot of interaction going on and a lot of friction, which generates heat and then causes the temperatures to rise. And that's the reason you need a chiller in that, and hook to, and I'm only going to run this at 20,000 right here. And this, because of the interaction chamber setup with the 5-channel, it's more made to run at lower pressures. So and run it on up a little bit more here. But there could be some fine tuning on this yet once it's set up, to get the consistencies on the pumps, make sure that even the consistency on this pressure stays maintained. But anyways, you can tell it's running great, very little noise in the machine, so that's one thing I like about it too. And you can see over here the fluids coming in and coming out here. And we're still building temperature. I guess not too bad yet. It's still at 96, so it's not bad at all. But so down here's your priming valve, which is only needed to start, which we've already primed the unit. But I think that's about it. and I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. And as you can see, the thing runs great. And if you got any questions on this machine or any other microfluidics units that we do have, you can give us a call here at New Life Scientific, and we can help you with anything you need. Thank you.